this is the best place to die. Even if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die in the WWE ring. He said, like, Tony Khan would like to have you in AEW. Tell me, why would Pat goes to QT and say QT Marshall and say, "Hey, this guy's bothering me," and hey man, I don't think you will ever come back because you have a heat. Got up and I introduced myself. Like I said, my name is Vineesh. It's an honor to be in the same locker room with you. And he looked at me, say a word, walked away.
Hi, it's Tesh from Turnbuckle Times. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please do give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. In today's video, the very first Tesh Talks, and my guest is Tamilian Vineeshhh. He's a pro wrestler. Vinesh, thanks so much for joining me today on the inaugural episode 001 of Tesh Talks. How are you doing
Thank
today?
you for having me. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I came here to do a show, SCW, in here downtown. Actually, it's not downtown. It's like an hour from here tomorrow. So it'll be an interesting event. So I can wait to wrestle because I'll be wrestling with Mr. Ali. Not Mustafa Ali. There's a lot of they're great independent wrestlers out there. Goes by Ali. So I'll be working with him tomorrow. So I can't wait.
Cool. So this is filming this at the end of September, so that's the 1st of October. And so where are you normally based within the United States?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, okay. The home of WCW. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
um
Absolutely.
so just a bit of background about you for our viewers who may not be aware of you. Could you give a bit more background about yourself before we go into your pro wrestling journey?
Yeah, right before I started my pro wrestling journey, I was a fitness instructor. Then I was a personal trainer. Then I always wanted to be a pro wrestler, but growing up as a South Asian, South Indian, it wasn't easy because it kind of like families have their own expectations about their kids. So they compare you with other kids, especially doesn't matter north or south. Like Indian, you know how Indian families are.
Absolutely.
So when I told them like I want to be a wrestler, it was just they laughed at me. Like they were like, you got to think about something serious and important.
Yeah.
But
Are you trying to become a clown or something? It's kind of on that level, isn't it?
yeah, it wasn't that thing. Yeah, I didn't really have any kind of like pretty much any pushback or support or anything like that. So anyway, I was a personal trainer and fitness instructor, and then at that moment I really wanted to do wrestling, so I moved to New York. So that's where I started my journey with Glayson's Gym with Johnny Ross, WWE Hall of Famer.
Okay, yeah.
And it was funny because at that time when I started wrestling training, I was working as a dishwasher in an Indian restaurant
Wow.
in upstate New York, 5 days a week, and traveling like almost 7 hours a day, 14 hours to 14 hours in a week, like 3 hours in the bus. Goes to downtown New York. From there, catch another train to Brooklyn. From there, get down and walk for 20 minutes. Go to the gym. Jimmy's on the top, all the way up. And it was interesting, and it was worth it. Every single minute worth it. I trained there for 6 7 months. Then after that, I started traveling, started doing shows, started doing like battle royals, 8-man tag matches. So a lot of 8-man tag matches, 6-man tag matches, then tag matches, then triple threat matches, things like that. And got an opportunity to do some shows for OVW. I got a chance to perform some matches with OVW. That's when I got a chance to meet Mr. Shira. I had some respect before I met him, but after I met him, I lost all the respect. But anyway, it's just sad because I also just wanted to say why I don't really like him now these days, or in general, I don't really kind of like see him as one of the professionals because got a chance to talk to him in the OVW locker room, and we started talking like he at that. So I think this was like right after my first Japan tour, I believe. It's around 2018. He said he wanted to go to Japan. He wanted to wrestle there, and I told him like yeah, it's a process anyway. And so I asked him like if he trained by Great Khali. So he kind of like he asked me who's that. So again, Great Khali is the WWE Hall of Famer who's a pioneer who changed this business for Indian people, revolutionized. There wouldn't be a Jinder Mahal right now if it wasn't for Great Khali. There
Yeah.
wouldn't be a Shanky, Veer, whatever. All those guys would be here because of Great Khali. And the way he said it, it was completely disrespectful. And again, after that, a few of my friends told me like he was kind of like very stiff and unprofessional. So anyway, that was my first interaction with Shira. And of course, obviously, people watching this, they probably thinking that, oh, this guy just started cheating on everybody. But and I want to be real. I want to be honest. A lot of people, they don't come out. They don't talk about any of these things, and I don't really care. Like somebody needs to stand up and say, and hey, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And on Renee's podcast, Rob Van Dam said the best. He said how the business works, how the guys works, and this is how it is. And he said it the best. And I kind of like completely agree with Rob Van Dam. And people need to understand this business. So much of ego, so much of massive egos. People think that they're superstars, they're larger than life personas. The only people who are really larger than life is WWE stars. And those WWE stars I met in my life, they were such sweethearts, amazing, kind, humble, down to the earth human beings. But anyway, I got a chance to wrestle a few matches, few shows with OVW. I got a chance to go to Japan. I got a chance to train at Wrestle One Dojo, uh, and that's where I met Rene Dupree. I wrestled in Puerto Rico, wrestled in Mexico in IWRG, Ground Zero Wrestling. Trained with Chacho Jr. I got a chance to train with Ultimo Guerrero from CML, and yeah, this been my experience so far. And in between, I got a chance to do a WWE tryout back in 2021, and I was blessed to get an opportunity to be a part of AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I wish I could go and delete it. I can't. It's out there. So yeah, that's been me. So started my journey around 2013,
Okay.
and it's almost 10 years now.
You definitely put the hours in. You've definitely been grinding, and you've touched base in all of those places where, as a person looking from the outside in, as a wrestling fan, what we always continuously hear is Japan, Mexico, Puerto Rico, America, and of course Europe as well to a certain extent. These are the places where.
Oh, I worked in Canada too.
Oh,
Sorry.
North America, you're taking that one off as well. So yeah.
Sorry, Brett. All right.
Brett will hopefully forgive us, but yeah, it's you, like you said, you put the mileage in. You're not just an up and coming startup that's just I've been at it for a month. I should be a champion by now, and I should be making millions of dollars or whatever. It's certainly a hard grind, and obviously the 1% of the 1% probably get as far as possible, that we as audiences, as fans, will be able to actually see them and become familiar with their names as well. So it's kudos for you for doing that. And yeah, you mentioned that you appeared on the Cafe de Rene podcast. Shout out to those guys as well. They're doing a great job with all their interviews as well. And yeah, you had kind of touched on your experiences actually both in WWE and AEW. They seem to be kind of polar opposite as to what your experiences were. Would you mind I wasn't sure of the timeline as to which one came first, but would you be able to share any of your stories?
Yeah, I did the WWE tryout first. So January 1st, 2021, I got tested positive for COVID.
Right.
It was terrible. It was I guess I kind of like deserved it at that time, because when I came back from Japan, I was doing 500 squats every day. I was talking to TJ Wilson and Rip Rogers. They've been giving me advices. They've been helpful. Like, and they give me, like, these advices. They used to do 500 squats and Tulsa, so they were like motivated me. So I was doing 500 squats and 300, 400 push-ups every single day. And when COVID happened, I was kind of like a little bit ignorant and rude. I was like, yeah, I'm healthy. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm doing everything in the right way. COVID ain't gonna touch me. But anyway, so I was doing Lyft and Uber um, for 4 or 5 years for pro wrestling. Just like Renee mentioned, I used to sleep in the car. Used to do Uber so that I can hit different cities and different states, so that I can wrestle more and learn more. So at that point of time, one passenger came into my car, started not smoking, coughing without the mask and everything. So I got COVID. Um, it took almost 30 days for me to get tested negative. All I lost all my strength, stamina, I had a chest cramp, chest pain, everything. Around February first week, I believe, around 6 or 7, I got an invitation from WWE. I wasn't sure if I really want to do it because I knew I'm not ready because I had no strength. I was weak, and again, it's WWE we are talking about. Grew up watching it. The I don't know how many countries are there in this world. Just like Michael Jackson was popular, just like John Cena, Hulk Hogan, popular. WWE is something that you will hear anywhere and everywhere in the world, and it
Any
is the
corner of the earth, it's WWF, WWE, Coca-Cola.
yeah,
Yeah, Hollywood.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
these
one of those
things.
brands. Like, it's just like, and to be a part of it, to get an opportunity and invited from WWE, it's kind of like this is. I can tell you something. When I started my career, all I wanted was to do a couple of wrestling matches and meet some of my heroes. That's all I wanted. I never ever was like thought in my life that I will get a WWE tryout opportunity. But it was, again, I wanted to go to the PC. That's another dream of mine. I just wanted to go inside and see the facilities and everything. And it was kind of like I was kind of like a kid in a toy store when I went inside the WWE PC. Man, that's the heaven for professional wrestlers or sports entertainers. I'll call sports entertainers, but that's what kind of like they do. And it was a dream come true the moment I went inside. And then the tryout was a 2 day tryout. Uh, it was second day, man. It was having a really bad chest cramps and chest pain. I started holding my chest so tight, but at the same time, I was in a state of mindset where, like, if I'm gonna die tonight, I'm okay because this is the best place to die. Even if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die in the WWE ring, in WWE facility. This You can't get better and bigger than this in your life. And I try my best. And again, WWE doctors, amazingly professionals, because they watch everything, they know everything. And one of the doctors came to me. He's like, "What's wrong?" And they checked my pulse and everything, and they said, you can do more. This Your heart rate is so high." And I was sad, upset, felt like everything taken away from me, because prior to that, we got a chance to do uh, promo promo session. We got a chance to work a match. I got a chance to work with Anthony Green in front of Shawn Michaels, Ace Steel, and all those guys. And
How did that
Shawn,
feel, wrestling in front of Shawn Michaels? That's no pressure.
after the match, I got a chance to talk to Shawn, and he said, "That was a good selling, kid. I like it." That's what he said. And I was like, wow. And, I was speechless. And again, I never thought that I would be able to meet Shawn Michaels in my life. I
Yeah.
stunned the fact that Shawn is right here in front of me, a legend, Hall of Famer. So Shawn said that, and I was like, and I don't know if it was the best match, whatever it was. We pretty much called so quick
Mm,
right before the match. We don't really prepare a lot.
sure.
But Daryl Sharma, who was the referee, who told me, like, Shawn really likes your selling. And so that was kind of like a great compliment. And after my promo, I cut my promo in Tamil and English. I mixed up a little bit. So Regal liked it, and Canyon Seaman at that time, the vice president of talent relations, he liked it. He came to me and said, "We really liked what we saw there. Unfortunately, right now you have to wait a little bit longer because right now, like, we are under the budget cut. So make sure you don't post anything on social media and everything,
Right.
man. And it was one of the greatest moments of my life. And again, that's where Solo was there. He did the tryout with me. Satnam Singh was there with me. What's his name? Jora Robo. I think Jora. That's what he goes by now. Jora, the Indian wrestler in AEW.
Oh, okay.
Then yeah, then there was another dude, Arjun Singh,
Yeah.
and all of these guys were there at the PC with me. So we all did the tryout together. And after the tryout, uh, I believe, month or two later, I haven't really heard anything. Then I heard like everybody, kind of not everybody, a lot of people got released. So um, I reached out to QT Marshall, and he invited me to AEW. I'm sorry, Nightmare Factory. So I went there, um, did a conversation with him, did a tryout match with him, a 5 minute tryout match, and after that, we sat and talked. He kind of like pitched the things like hey, this is what we can offer. First year 50K, second year 70, third year 90, blah blah blah. And he said like Tony Khan would like to have you in AEW. I'm kind of like under the impression, okay, it's cool, it's great, and they invited me uh, for my first match there, and after that, I think it was after that or before that, I got to see my phone because he said, no worries, we send you your pictures and everything, you're good. Since you speak multiple languages, I'm even uh, trying for a contract or something like that. There's a possible contract for you or something like that. That's what he said. Again, I gotta see. I gotta check my phone.
Yeah.
But since I speak 5, 6 languages, probably a commentary or some stuff for India. So that's what he told me, and I was like, okay, that's really cool. After my first match, Tony Khan came to us and he was like, that was fucking awesome. I don't know if I can use profanity
Yeah.
here on
Go
your
ahead.
show.
No worries.
Yeah. And he came to me like, that was fucking awesome. I love everything what you did out there. And I was like, I'm blown away with that because I never thought that guys like Tony Khan was really close and friendly like this. And I was like, wow, cool. And later that night, also early morning around 3 o'clock or something, we had catering like, the Marriott Hotel where I was having food. And you know what? A guy who been doing Uber and Lyft at night for 3, 4 years. I had sleeping issues, insomnia problems. I don't really sleep. I sleep in my daytime. I barely see sunlight. So I was just, walking around. Got a chance to meet some people. I didn't want to disrespect anybody, bother anyone. I don't want to rub anyone in the wrong way. So I didn't really bother anyone. I wanted to go outside and just want to feel that fresh air. That's when I saw a couple of people were sitting on the left side. So they invited me to join them, and that time I got a chance to talk to Tony. And Tony Khan, again, I said this in Renee's podcast. He reminds me of Mike Tenay because of the knowledge this guy have. He was talking about some wrestling matches that happened in 1982, and he was saying about the commentator, what was the first match on the card, and even he was saying who was the referee and everything. And I was like, oh wow. And that was the impression. And again, the guy had like insane amount of knowledge. Um, I got a text after that around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning from QT saying that hey, don't overstay. I don't even know why. And John Moxley came to me. He was drunk as fuck, and he started talking to me about WWE, Canyon Ceman, and just bashing them. This is the place you have to be. You get here, you get. They'll take care of you. He wasn't leaving me alone, or like in the moment I got the text, I got up, I tried to walk away.
Right.
Moxley pushed me down, start talking. You don't want to disrespect.
No.
Then Excalibur and Rocky Romero showed up, and they were talking to each other, and I'm kind of like in the middle. And I tried to got up, and I was like, "Hey, where are you going, man?" And I was like, "No, man, it's too late, and I need to go." No. We're talking. Don't worry about it. And I'm looking at this is man, I think I'm gonna have a heat. just because of this.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't do anything though.
No.
It's just not my fault at all. And um, I went to my room around 6 o'clock in the morning or something. And when I woke up, we had to go to the tapings, and I saw QT, and I said, "Man, I really apologize. Johnny Moxley wasn't kind of leaving me." So this is what exactly he told me. Moxley's an asshole when he gets drunk. So I understand. No, don't worry about it. So the guy says this, and then a week or two later, he kind of embarrassing me in the nicest ways possible. He in front of his students, he said, "Vineesh, you're a nice guy. You're a nice person, but you have a heat. You don't know. You talk too much. You don't know how to talk to people. You talk too much, and you have heat. And you were bothering Pac. Pac told me this, which is absolutely completely bullshit and lies because I knew the moment he said that he was lying. The reason is we were about to have a meeting or something when I was there. So this is one of those times where we're wrestlers were so fans for 3 days, 3 or 4 days, I believe. I don't remember. For Dynamite Dark Elevation tapings. So I was standing in the corner. Pac came by and he asked me, "Hey, man, what's going on, dude? So, what's your nationality? Where are you from?" And I was like, started talking. That's when QT came in and it was like, "Hey, Vineesh, come in there. We have a meeting." And I was like, "Okay, no problem." And then later that night, I was waiting for an elevator, so Pac saw me from far and he came to me and he apologized to me. "Hey, dude, I'm sorry. He called you, just wanted to talk to you. I'm sorry. I don't want you to feel like in a bad way or something like that." And then we talked a little bit, like for 1 2 minutes, and I shook his hand. I got into the elevator and I went to my room. So tell me, why would? And again, I did not approach Pac. He came to me
Right.
when he saw me waiting for the elevator. So tell me, why would Pat goes to QT and say QT Marshall and say, "Hey, this guy is bothering me," something like that. And again, that was a complete bullshit. And again, in this business, you have to kiss people's ass to get somewhere. I did everything, and again, there was not an honest answer from him because he threw a lot of stones at me, thinking that okay, it's not he won't be able to do it, so he might gonna shut up. But at the same time, I'm following up with him about the contract he mentioned, right?
Right.
I'm working out at his school. One day he came in and asked me, "Hey man, Vineesh, how about 35K per year? You good with that?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't care if it's 10 grand per year. I just want to work. I just want to wrestle. I just want to, learn as much as possible, pick the brains of the legends. Just want to be around. You know what I'm saying? I just want to wrestle as much as possible." That's all I told him. And it was like, okay. And then again, a couple of weeks or a couple of months passed by. I don't remember a date. I have to again check the phone. And he messaged me. He said, "How about $500 a week just to come here and train at the facility?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And again, man, I mean, he's saying all these things, giving me hope, right? And then after that, everything started changing. Like, okay, you gotta look like a wrestler. You gotta build some muscles. Okay, I eat right, start lifting weight, and I was like, okay. And then he said, "I have to get gear that looks very similar to Jinder Mahal," which I did, by the way. I sent him the pictures, some of the designs, and he chose the designs, and I made the singlet. And again, he wanted me to wear something that represent colorful Jinder Mahal in India for him. And of course, this is a lot of people. They don't know about the South Indian and North Indian or East Indian culture differences. For them, it's gas station, grocery store, slumdog millionaire, Grey Khali. But anyway,
Yeah.
after this, that's what he told me. Then I did all that. I said, "Hey man, I did everything what you said." I'm following up with him. Like, what's going to be next? Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to change my wrestling style? I can go and learn some gymnastics and acrobatic, whatever. He said, "No, your wrestling is fine. Everything is good. And we have plans for India. We're going to hire more Indian wrestlers and we're going to do show for India." I was like, "Awesome. Keep working, keep working." And in between, I got invited again to do a match with the acclaimed Caster and Bowens. Bowens, professional, very professional, very, very respectful, very professional, respectful. I wish I could say the same about Castor,
Okay.
but not really, because again, from what I learned, this business is different. Like when you train and when you get a chance to attend all these seminars, you learn so much from so many different people and so many different legends. So you learn about psychology, in-ring psychology, right? That's something that I barely seen in AEW. But anyway, I was invited back again. Cole Cabana was the coach. He came in. So the coaches are there to make sure everything goes well. Both parties are fine and okay with everything, what we call in the back.
Mhm.
So Cabana came in there in 3 seconds. He said, I see you guys. And he walked away. Castor called everything pretty much. And he pitched some spots here and there. And Cabana came back after 10 minutes. You guys are good. Let's go. And I didn't really wanted to do one or two spots, and I expressed my concern, but he didn't really fucking care because I'm not a contracted wrestler. I haven't signed anything. We are there to make them look good on TV because it is one at that point of time. Most of these indie wrestlers are getting squashed under 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, just bodies. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, ding, 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 Bill rang. And man, I tell you, like I said, Bowen's professional, very professional. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's just very professional. But then Caster started bitch slapping me, kicking my head and everything. And I was like, okay, no problem. You're on TV. What are you going to do? Just fucking take it. You know, I just needed that contract. So do whatever you can.
Sure.
And in between, Bowen's tagged Caster and Bowen's pinned me. 1, 2, 3, and we went back. So this guy, I think Tony was upset or something like because wrong man pinned me, right? Castro was supposed to drop the elbow and pin me. They totally forgot that spot.
Okay.
And yeah, then we had to come back and Big Show Paul White told Castro like Vineesh already took a lot of bumps, he shouldn't be taking any more. Just tag him, drop the elbow and pin him. Nope. And again, they wanted to give me their shit. And then Gasser dropped the elbow 1, 2, 3. After this, they put the blame on me because I believe Baron Black is the one actually told me a couple of weeks later. He said, like, man, you got to change your gear, you got to change your look. I don't think you're TV ready. And I was like, okay, no problem, But again, none of these things like came from QT. It's like Baron was saying it. He said I got to change my gear, look, and everything, and I got a chance to talk to QT. I'm asking, hey, how was my match? Oh, I didn't see you, dude. Okay, I need critiques, right? And I'm keep asking him, like, okay, what do you think I need to improve? And Baron told me, like, this is what happened. Is that true? And he's like, no, everything is good, man. Like, at this time, we don't have any plans for India right now. That's what he's saying.
Oh.
I am willing to learn, and I'm here to improve and get better myself. But there is no straight, direct conversation from the man saying that, hey, man, Vineesh, you need to improve on this. You need to improve on this. But hey, you need a singlet. Okay, I got the singlet. You need to look like a wrestler, even though I don't know in which way Joey Janela, Marco Stunt, and Jungle Boy look like a wrestler, but still,
Yeah.
I'm 6'2". I'm
Okay.
6'2", and I was 230 pounds, and I cut down weights and ripped, lose some, size, and got down to 215, 218. And again, like, giving my best. And I even asked the guy if it's my wrestling style, I'll change it. I'll learn some gymnastic moves, whatever. But again, there was no straightforward answer for anything, and it was always like bluffing back and forth. And I remember did shows in Puerto Rico, came back, and I'm still in touch with QT, saying that, hey man, I'm doing my best. I'm traveling every city, every states as possible, learning as possible, wrestling as possible. He said, yeah, that's good. As much as you can learn, as much as you can wrestle, that's always good. Good, keep it up. And again, I'm asking, so what about the contract? Like, you said, I, I still speak 6 languages. It's not like I forgot or something like that,
Yeah.
because that, it was like, hey man, I don't think you will ever come back because you have a heat. And I was like, why? You overstayed. You overstayed in the hotel. And I was like, and again, like I said, there was another podcast I did. I said pretty much the same thing. Queen is dead. We have earthquakes, tsunamis. We have wars going on, but you have a heat because you overstayed.
Hmm.
This kind of childish fucking shit that is really killing the business. And a lot of guys, they don't come out. I'm sure he said these kind of things to a lot of people. I think I don't want to name the guys. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but I spoke to a few guys and they said the same thing. QT told them, "Oh, you gotta look like a wrestler. You gotta gain more muscle." Blah blah blah. I mean, dude, look at your fucking company that you're working for. A guy actually, a pizza maker is in the fucking ring.
Yeah,
It's a joke. It's a joke. And I remember there was a. Uh, I don't remember who. I think it was a Dark Order or something. Goldust. What he goes by? Dustin Rhodes. Yeah, Dustin Rhodes. A masked wrestler was punching so hard to the mat, not to his face. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's insulting.
That was probably one of WrestleBotch's highest viewed clips, I imagine. Yeah, that's definitely went viral, but viral for the wrong reasons, really. It just
terrible.
And of course, we watch it again as a fan. We watch it from the outside, so we can only hear what a dirt sheet or what website wants to tell us, and we either believe it or we don't. But obviously, from what we understand, is that there seems to be, and from what you've said so far, there seems to be very poor communication skills, and that should be never be the case in any workplace, really. If you're in any job, an office job, whatever, if there's management is there for a reason, supervisors are there for a reason, human resources are there for a reason to communicate. If you're doing something bad, it's okay to say, hey, you're doing something bad, but let's fix it by doing X, Y, Z or Z. But it just seems like they were just giving you what we said called the runaround, where if you were too big, you have to slim down. If you were too small, you'd have to bulk up. So you can never kind of become this perfect wrestler. Here, have some juice. Don't take so much juice. All these sorts of things. So it just seems like.
Don't get me wrong. Like whenever he was around in the factory, he give me some guidance, like a little bit here and there. Hey, do that move. Do this, do that. That's good. That looks good, great. But it's still again, not even once he kind of like hey Vineesh, like okay, this is what we're expecting from you. This is going to be your character. This is what you need to focus on. Nothing like that. Because for a whole fucking month, when I went there, Satnam Singh,
Right.
man, I tell you something about this guy. And again, well, you know what? Fuck it, I don't care. So he did 2 WWE tryouts.
Yeah.
Getting one is luck. There are billions of people around the world, and you get invited, and you did 1 tryout. You're lucky. You're blessed. But he got 2. After first tryout, he had time to go to a wrestling school and learn the basics, learn how to wrestle. And second time, WWE invited him, and we all had to do a match. And he was kind of like, I don't know how to wrestle. Second time, when he went to the performance center, he did good. He did decent. Like he did all the drills and everything. But when they asked him, he did cut a promo, which was a decent promo in Hindi or Punjabi or something, which is great, which is decent. But they asked him to wrestle, and he said he can't wrestle. And in my case, at least I did something, good or bad.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's not my excuse that I barely recovered from COVID, but at the same time, I need to give kudos to Micah Taylor, Mike Sharer, because the moment I got the invitation, I started training in his gym. Underground Fight Factory. At that time, I think it was in McDonough. I used to go there like night 11, 12, 1 o'clock, do these drills because I don't want it to embarrass myself. It's going there. If I can't even do a fucking push up, then that's it, you know? And he helped me a lot. So I owe him so much. But anyway, coming back to Satnam. So he had his opportunity and then he didn't really took it. And then somehow he got signed by AEW. Great, awesome, the basketball player guy, right? Like I said, I have somebody who have no wrestling experience. I got a chance to talk to him. So I asked him, like, hey, man, have you ever been to India, like, I mean, he's from India, like, been to college school.
Yeah.
Um, and he's the second person who said this, fuck him, I don't like him. And I was like, all right, so why would you say that? Like, even though people compare him with Kali,
Yeah.
people compared Big Show, Paul White, to Andre the Giant for so long, so many years, and it's an honor for him. Even he said it publicly. I mean, I'm not saying like you have to
They pitched him as Andre's son
son,
early when he
so yeah, and again, like you don't have to, but like why would you disrespect? And obviously, publicly, he's not gonna say it.
Oh.
None of these guys, Shira or Satnam, they're not gonna go, "Oh, I never said that." Of course, it's a public image. It's just like Hollywood, But for me, I'm saying all these things because I heard it. I don't need to make things up anyway. And again, for a whole month, this guy is squashing. In sense, I don't want to say squash. He was kind of like beating this kid 30 days in a row. The same Kevin Nash moves: sidewalk slam, elbow, throw him to the corner, boot. And I was like, oh wow. I feel bad for the kid who was helping him out. Like the same Kevin Nash thing: sidewalk slam, elbow, throw him to the corner, doing all these moves. That's how he's training. There's no one is out there. I think there were a couple of guys who were like watching him, but he was just doing the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
And I remember somebody sent me a clip where he was doing a uh, standing crossbody, and I was like, why?
Yeah.
You're 7'1", 7'2", whatever. Why would you need a standing crossbody? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a guy, and I tell you, this is a real story. In a wrestling promotion in Gainesville, Georgia, it's called Pro Wrestling Caribbean, and I got a chance to wrestle with I believe Bobby Flanco, that's his name.
Okay.
It's the same day on a MomoCon, I wrestled with Joseph Van Simmet, like 25, 30 minutes. I got a chance to win the international title. And I had to drive an hour, 30 some minutes. I got to Gainesville, Georgia, same day, hot as fuck. They're supposed to start the show. I think it was 6 o'clock or something, 6 or 7, but they started at 8. I was so tired, burned out. Bobby, great dude. I love his attitude, very professional, cool. He wanted to do some stuff with me because he kind of like do lucha a lot. And I went to the ring. I was burned out. My body was not listening to me, tired. I couldn't really give what he wanted. I was embarrassed.
Okay.
I was really embarrassed and humiliated. I was like, this is bad because I couldn't really get up and move. I was just so tired, burned out without eating any food, drinking any water, barely had some water. So, you know what I did? I decided that I'm going to get better and improve. I talked to a few people and I got an opportunity to go to Mexico, Mexico City, Mexico. I went to Mexico and guess what? I was there for 2 to 3 months. I was learning and training. I was busting my ass off to learn the style so that I don't embarrass myself again and I don't do injustice to someone else in the ring again.
Yeah.
And that's what I did because I wanted to learn. I wanted to get improved. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this, like, if you want to get improved, okay, you can. But at the same time, when you wrestle, everything, whatever you do, behind everything, there should be a reason. Just otherwise, there's another video out there. This one kid did a moonsault, a backflip from the top rope. He went all the way to the back to the corner. His opponent is laying down all the way to the corner, right next to the post, and he did a standing shooting star press right in the middle. There's nobody there, and why?
Yeah.
What are you doing that kind of stupid shit?
Mm-hmm.
My point is again, like he I understand he's learning, but again, there's no need for a standing crossbody or something.
It hurts the
But
reputation of wrestling as well, right? I suppose I could probably pay someone X amount of money, say, let me just get in the ring. And obviously they might just take it. Like, get in the ring, doesn't matter to me. And I can just act a fool. But it's being filmed, it's being recorded. Everyone's a journalist nowadays, right? Everyone's recording. So for my own selfish gain of, I'm a wrestler now because I got in a ring and I did a power slam or took a flat back bump or whatever. but for the greater community, for everyone else seeing it, is like, what has wrestling become? It becomes a joke instantaneously, and the more people that do it, it kind of dilutes what wrestling is. There was a way that when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, wrestling was, people were larger than life. And you were talking about something I'm saying as well, is like, those kind of guys will never take a bump, and no one would be mad at them. It's just like, you're
Yeah.
the big guy, you're being sold as that big guy. And okay, you can take punches and you can take, some hits or whatever, but you have to be protected in that sense, because that's the story we're trying to tell. Even with finishers where people are doing crazy Canadian destroyers and tombstone power drivers and from top rope, all kinds of crazy stuff, and then, kick out at 2 or whatever. And you think, what's happened is, this is not a video game anymore. Things were protected, and okay, all things weren't probably great back in the 80s and 90s, like, the camaraderie or kind of the wrestlers court and those sorts of things. But there was that element of protecting the business. And I do understand with things like social media, you can't really protect it. And no one's saying being character 24/7, because that's not a life either. But I think, like you said, it's like any of the job, really. You can still have to have those certain things where you show respect to your seniors, there's peers, and you help each other as well. From our understanding, or from wrestling for us, is it's like you said, when you felt bad that you didn't perform, you felt bad obviously for yourself, but you feel like, I let this other individual down, and that could have been their make it or break it match, and maybe because of my performance they looked bad, and it's not on to them, it's not on for them to carry the entire match. It has to be a collaboration. So that's my understanding. Like, yeah, you were saying that but you made the choice to actually want to improve and to not take criticism harshly, which a lot of people in the world do take. They can't take criticism. But to be fair, if you're open-minded, you understand that from your failures and your losses, there's a lot more to learn than if you get a slam dunk and a 3-pointer first time round and you think you're amazing. Then your ego inflates and there's nowhere.
Let me tell you something, like from my experience. A lot of guys and girls out there, been in the business less than a year, 6 months, they think that, oh, they're ready, they can do whatever they want, and this business owe them something, whatever. Let me tell you something. It took 4 to 5 fucking years for me to go over. And most of the promotions, this is honest to God truth, what I experienced. Most of the promoters, not everybody, most of the promoters, they want to see that anti-American heel. That's what I'm going to be. Get in the ring, talk some shit, bad. I love America. Trust me, I love this country.
Yeah.
But they don't understand. They want me to talk crap and shit and get all the heat, do some old school style shit. And then, of course, my opponent go over USA. That's what I've been doing. I wanted to wrestle. I went to Japan, learned what so much of a strong style and so much things. I want to apply that in a wrestling match. No, promoters like, no. You just go out there, cut a promo, say all these nasty things to people. It took 5 years for me to go over. I was very upset. I was so sad. And till I got a chance to talk to Rip, and Rip said, it's not about you going over. It's about who you're putting over and how you're putting over. Vinny, if you, he actually called me Vinny or V sometimes. He said, V, if you're not selling the body slam, that looks bad on him. Selling is the most important thing. You are putting somebody over in the best way and nicest way as possible, and you're doing it. And fans, they don't really understand at that point of time, like, about the selling perspective. But in wrestlers, that's very important. You make your opponent look better, and I was doing it. And who cares if I win or lose, if I'm a baby or a heel?
Yeah.
As far I'm there, making sure every single person, every single fan who pays a certain amount of money, make sure they have fun, make sure they're involved in a thing. That's all that matters. And again, if I'm getting heat, make sure uh, you get more heat. That's what he said. And I remember I used to get death threats from people saying that, hey, we killed your father and we're going to kill you too. And I was like, my father? Yeah, Bin Laden. I was like, you dumb fuck. Uh, I'm from the South Asia. That's fucking India. That's near to Nepal, Bangladesh, China, Japan, and all the other Asian countries. And again, they don't understand. Of course, the fans are loyal. They don't know what's going on. But I was getting all this heat. People are reaching out to me. And I remember one guy sent me a photo. Mustafa Ali on the left, I'm on the right. And he didn't say anything. And I don't know what he was aiming for. He
Right.
thought that like I'll get some sort of reaction out of it. But I said I would love to have him on my tag team partner so that I can learn so much from this
Yeah.
guy. I
Yeah.
love Mustafa Ali, and I met him. Uh, and again, talking to Mustafa Ali, quick thing. And when I met him back in WWE, I didn't know he was the nicest, friendliest person. The first thing I said, "Salam alaikum, bhaijan," and he was like, "Wa alaikum assalam." And I didn't know because I knew he grew up in Chicago. I didn't know he could speak Hindi or Urdu.
Mm.
He spoke to me in Hindi and Urdu. Dude, such an amazing guy.
Mm.
What a great, humble human being. But again,
It must be from his background as well as a police officer as well in arguably one of the most toughest kind of cities in America as well. I think that kind of those kind of experiences, you do need to have certain aspects of real life experiences to kind of build your character and
yeah,
your own emotional stability as well, and being humble and understanding as well of people, and obviously nothing else like that. We're learning about people's mental well-being and state as well. And obviously, just being constantly on guard of whatever could happen at any moment in a blink of an eye. So those things are incredibly important,
yeah.
especially in
So
your line of work.
yeah. So coming back to where I was, like, so people don't understand going over, putting over. It's a two different thing. It's just like it's all about you tell a story. People
Mm.
don't understand.
No.
And do I really want to go out and every day and do the namaste and shit on people? Absolutely not. I don't want to do that. I want to wrestle. I want to put some good matches. Uh, Kudos to Tom McCain. I believe his name is McCain or McLean. I don't want to mispronounce. Tom and Benjamin Chimera. Those guys. They invited me to do XVW, Extreme Valley Wrestling, one of the uh, popular promotion in the state of Ohio. They invited me. Ben told me, I remember, we want to push you to the moon. We want to do things with you. I was having blast. I was having a matches of my lifetime, like great matches with some of the nicest guys, nicest athletes ever. And they put and again, for me, I'm not even a title mark, but if a promoter decides to put his title on you, that means you're doing right. You're doing something good, and they trust you. So they put me the internet title and world titles and all those things. They were pushing me to the moon, and that's the first ever time in my life anything like that happened because
Mm.
XPW Tom and Ben they saw the talent in me instead of like hey, go out there, do the anti-American thing. No,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you need to learn how to work. And I'm still learning. Like John Cena says, learning never ends.
No.
You're always learning.
Yeah.
You have to run 10,000 times through those ropes. You have to take hundreds and hundreds of bumps to make you and your opponent look good.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's all about how you tell a story.
Yeah.
And again, these guys and girls within uh, one year or 6 months, less than 6 months of this business, they don't understand. One day I met this one of the student. I asked him, uh, how did it start the journey for you? He's like, oh, I saw this guy Dean Ambrose on TV. He's like, I can do all these things, so I decided, hey, let's do wrestling.
Right. Oh yeah, that veteran
No,
wrestler Dean Ambrose. Yeah, because I mean, if you growing up in the late 80s and 90s, that's when I was exposed to wrestling, and it just seemed, I think it just fits into that culture now, sadly, in terms of broad aspects, that everything has to be instantaneous now. Nobody wants to wait. Everything needs to be spoon fed to you. And if I don't get it, if I don't get my 15 minutes of fame straight away, then forget it. I don't care, whatever. And I don't care what kind of mess I leave behind, because that's the next person's problem. But yeah, it's the art form as well. It's just anything else. If this was going on with ballet or something like that, people would be outraged. Like, oh, how could you do such a thing with this? There's certain things you have to follow as per the art form, the performance. But of course, wrestling doesn't get that, because the people that are inside of it know it and love it, but for the vast majority outside, they think, oh, it's fake and all this stuff. So no one really cares.
I'm still surprised about Joey Ryan, why he's not with AW, since the pizza guy's already there.
Yeah. It seems like I don't really know much about the pizza guy, but I'm assuming he just went viral somewhere, and they thought, let's
Yeah,
capitalize on that heat, and we'll just
yeah.
draw in the TikTok crowd or Instagram crowd, and we'll get an extra 10,000 people viewing. Or I imagine that's what they're trying to do, but it's not. It's not developing characters and developing storylines, and there's so many factions nowadays that I can't keep up. And
I'm gonna come up with something new. I'm gonna walk around with the laptop computer, the tech guy. That's another Indian thing, right? I comes to the ring with the laptop. I do some moves and smack him with the laptop.
yeah, and
No disqualification. Yeah,
every time the lights go out and you think it's going to be a bigger entrance, you just no, sorry, the outlet didn't work. Don't worry, the tech guy's on it, and people are like, oh, before Bray Wyatt was coming back. Oh no,
yeah.
it's just it's unfathomable. And I be honest with you, I struggle to watch kind of a full wrestling show nowadays because of that. Sadly, it's one of it's a form of escapism. It's just like films or video games and stuff for a fan like me. And it's not about, oh, it's not real, or why does he keep losing? But if you're consistently, like you said, putting out a story and garnering that, and especially for you, as I imagine your peers are saying, he's a safe worker, he's a solid worker, he doesn't make me look stupid, he doesn't sandbag, he doesn't do all these things. That probably means more than anything like me just saying, hey man, you're a great wrestler, because that's from internally the people that know and they've come up like you, and you've garnered their respect. I can't imagine there's anything more than that. And then you said having a title put on you as well, because it's a risk, because you then become the poster boy. You are the representative for that company. And I don't think that's taken lightly as well. You know, to put just a belt on you just for the sake of it doesn't make sense, because the whole company then rides on your back, right?
Yeah, again, it's a trust too. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta win that trust. You gotta earn that trust.
And you can't abuse it.
Yeah, you can abuse it. It's just like, again, I'm not really picking. I'm not bullying AEW.
No.
And
It's your
again, it's just
experience. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the things that I'm seeing. Like, so this guy is friends with this guy. Oh, all right, bring him in. And he have a couple
Yeah.
of friends. Bring him in.
It seems
All
really
right.
apparent, even from someone outside. It just feels like, I know you, I'll get in. And then
Yeah.
people in on forums and stuff talk about like, oh, well, this is so-and-so's friend. He'll definitely be in once his contract's up or whatever. It's almost laughable at this stage. It's almost like, really, we're taking the kind of piss out of it, but it is happening. And I could get my friend a job or a recommendation, but by
Yeah.
no means does it mean that it should ride just on me. And to be fair, if it was, I would tell my employer, I know he's my friend, but if he doesn't perform, you might want to fire me as well, because I've done you a disservice. And I think if that
Yeah.
was the case, people will think twice before they think, well, I'm not going to let you in because I've heard about your stories, or you're not reliable, or whatever it might be. But because it's
But at the
such a
same
big brand,
time, the guys who have talents and the guys who get signed, they're not getting used either. Guys like
no,
Anthony Ogogo, dude,
yeah,
that guy is amazing.
he's disappeared. I haven't seen him.
He's one of the fucking coolest guy I ever met. One of the nicest guy ever I met.
And like you
And
said, he's an Olympian, or he's a high level boxer.
Olympian boxer,
Yeah,
and great wrestler in the ring. And he had that match with
really.
Cody. I forgot the name of the pay-per-view, but
Hmm.
it's all these bigger things happening. Where is he now?
Yeah,
I think last time I think he was doing some indie shows. And again, why?
really.
Instead of pushing these WWE guys,
Yeah,
why can't you just create talents? And of course, when I say that, these Mark fans, internet keyboard warriors, they come after me. Oh, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, they all from indies. It's like, yeah, but they're not really doing anything with these guys either.
no,
I mean, they're out there, they're doing their things, but
yeah.
like, and again, that's another thing. The friends and friends, and that's how this business is, man. It's
You have to
just
create
bad.
an alternative. It's not about just so and so is available to sign. Yes, if
And
they're good.
I don't work for WWE,
Mhm.
and I don't take any money from WWE for saying
No,
this. As far I've seen, the only company in the world doesn't look any partiality or don't take any recommendations and give a legit opportunity
Hmm.
based on your talent is World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, it's a meritocracy. Well, it should be treated like a meritocracy. You work hard for it, or
Yeah.
no, it's true. And Vineesh, there was one particular story, if you want to tell it or not, that you talked about on Cafe de Rene, was your interaction with Mr. Phil. CM Punk.
Yeah.
I found it quite interesting, but would you mind sharing it with our audience, your interaction?
My interaction, I mean, it's just, again, he never said a word to me. So he didn't say a word, 0 words. So when I was invited to the Nightmare Factory for a tryout match with UT Marshall, and I was getting ready in the locker room, lacing my boots,
Yeah.
and he came in. He was standing right in front of me. He was by himself. And again, when you learn this business from guys like Johnny Rods, Gino Caruso, and many other legends, the first thing is you show respect
Mm.
to your elders, you show respect to the legends. At that point of time, for me, a legend was standing in front of me in the world of professional wrestling. So I got up and I introduced myself. Like, and I said, "My name is Vineesh. It's an honor to be in the same locker room with you. Nice to meet you." But yeah, then he looked at me with a mean face. He had a face mask, yeah, one of those masks. He looked at me, say a word, walked away.
Wow.
And of course, I'm sure after this, people are gonna say, "Oh, maybe because of COVID, he didn't shook your hand." It's not the respect.
Yeah, elbowed you.
But yeah, he could have elbowed me,
Yeah.
or yeah, something like that, exactly. Or he could have said something.
Yeah, exactly.
He said, "Hey, nice meeting you, dude," or something like that. He didn't say anything. He looked at me and kind of like, walked away. And I was like, kind of like, I felt like, slapping, in the face. And it was bothering me. Of course, I used to like the dude. I watched him
Yeah.
on TV. I was actually a decent fan,
Yeah.
not like a big mark, but like, I liked his work and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
After that, I was like, no. Cole Cabana is 10,000 times better than CM Punk from what I've seen.
Okay.
And Cole was being awesome to me. Trust me.
Okay.
I had great conversations with him. Like, I've wrestled with the guy. Cole always been awesome. And again, people don't say or post about the nicer things that I said. And that is, so before we go to that, the whole thing happened when I was promoting my podcast, like Shoot and Stiff Wrestling podcast on YouTube. So just to promote my first episode, I went online on YouTube. And again, I'm not a big social media guy. If you can look at my Twitter, I barely have 107 followers,
Right.
because I don't really go and post a lot of things. Whenever I have a match, whenever I have a flyer, I go there, share my promos. So I kind of like, use social media platform to promote myself,
Sure.
like a marketing tool.
Yeah.
So I was doing this live YouTube video. I was answering questions to a few of the people, and this one particular person started throwing me the names. What do you think about this person? What do you think about that person? Bunch of names, and I was giving my response. This person, without my consent or permission, recorded my video, and he edited and he posted on Twitter from his fake account. I kind of like have a hunch who that it is, but I don't have an evidence or proof, so I can't accuse anybody.
Sure.
But whoever this person is, done a great job, edited it, boom, posted out there, shared WWE, AEW, CM Punk, and everybody. And I wasn't aware about any of these things. My buddy called me and said, "Hey man, you've gone viral." I was like, "Viral? Yeah. Your videos are all over the fucking internet, dude." And I'm thinking, I just created TikTok. Started putting some videos in there. And I was like, probably one of those videos for sure. And I'm Googling it, and I was like, "Oh, holy shit, here we go." Shitting on everybody, the entire world of wrestling. And I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't say any of those things, but there are things that I've said it.
Within
Good.
context.
Yeah, the good things I said it wasn't there.
No. You just
And
came across as a bitter guy that's negative.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again, people been messaging me, like 400, 500 people, like messaging me, commenting me, throwing, coming at me, and I'm like going back and forth with these strangers that I never met in my life.
Yeah.
People who have no profile pictures, people have cartoon emoji pictures, but they have no profile picture. They're coming at me and judging me and everything. But like, I don't give a shit, because I've been through a lot of crap in my life, real life. Social media is a different thing,
Yeah.
but I don't really think about that. But anyway,
you have to develop a thick skin,
yeah,
physically and mentally as well when it comes to social media. Absolutely.
I mean, for me, I do pay attention to a limit, but then I don't like. Let's say I'm going back and forth with some people 4 or 5 times, and I was like, "Fuck this," you know. I don't even know this person, and at this point of time, I don't really do any much again except promoting my wrestling. So again, I'm sure when you post this, I'm sure a lot of hate comments and a lot of things going to happen. I mean, again, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I appreciate every single human being who supports me. It
Mm.
means a lot to me. But again, going back to those videos, again, saying about CM Punk, AEW, but again, at the same time, I had a great, great conversation with Kenny Omega, one of the nicest, humble
Yeah.
person I ever met. Hangman Adam Page. The dude is you didn't even know he's there. I believe he's an introvert. He don't bothers anybody, but at the same time, he's very respectful and
Right.
kind
Right.
to me. Like I'm saying, speaking from my experience, one of the young bucks again, coolest cats, and they're like very easy to approach. And Cody Rhodes, the dude is awesome. He didn't even have to talk to me,
No.
but he came to me, and every time when we see each other, like Vineesh, what's up, my man? What's up, my dude? How are you, brother? And he didn't have to do that. Again, I saw him at the WWE, and I told him, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy to see you here.
Mm.
This is where you really belong.
Yeah.
But again, these were my experiences, and that's what I was sharing. And uh, I don't really regret it because again, somebody needs to come out. And I told this to Cedric Alexander when I got a chance to met him about Big Swall. I couldn't publicly come out and support her because this guy, the Appleman, QT Marshall, told me that I might have a contract.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't want to say anything stupid.
Jeopardize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
And
want
at
to
the
get more
same
heat.
exactly. But instead of that, I even supported Tony Khan's tweet. I went there and said, AEW is the best place in the world and everybody's awesome, cool. I thought that if this is coming from a South Asian,
Yeah.
a brown man, you know, sorry for that. But
Add
if this
some
is
weight
coming
to
from
it.
the
Yeah.
South Asian, you had to wait to
Yeah.
it, support to it.
Yeah.
So, but again, like like I said, again, I'm going with what I told. Like, oh, okay, that 35K, that $500 per week, where is it? Yeah,
Exactly.
but I wish I had some guts and balls to support Big Swall. But whatever she posted was absolutely true. 100%. I
Okay.
seen it, experienced it too. Yeah.
Oh. Well, Vineesh, thanks so much for your time today. You really opened my eyes as well. I think as wrestling fans, I think we get some flack as well, and probably deservedly so, that we maybe buy into stuff a bit too much as well. But it's always nice just to understand just the process and hearing about it from a pro wrestler as well. Most people for us are not approachable, and rightly so, because they are megastars and they don't want us asking for selfies 100 bajillion times a day. But it's
Yeah.
nice to just get your take on things. These are your experiences. No one can deny them. These are your opinions, your thoughts, and we're all entitled to our own ones as well. And like you've said, I can't speak for XYZ, but this is my opinion. Maybe the person
Yeah.
may have had a bad day. Maybe they were intoxicated. Maybe whatever. They might be going just having a bit of a shitty day. But those are your experiences, and you are entitled to share them, of course, absolutely. But before we kind of wrap up, what is kind of the best places for our viewers and fans to kind of go to kind of support you and see what you're doing next? And obviously, you mentioned you had a podcast as well, so please let us know.
Yeah, the name of the podcast is Shoot and Stiff Wrestling Podcast. It's available on YouTube. It's actually, we have done 2 episodes so far. We're working on more. More episodes are coming with more stars, indie wrestling, area like promoters, bookers, wrestlers, talents from all over the world. So, and I can't wait to bring more guys and girls, of course, to my podcast and give them a spotlight, give them an opportunity to share their experience and stories.
You're paying it forward. Yeah, you're paying it
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, definitely, yeah. And again, there few people decided to come out, so they wanted to share their experience at the Nightmare Factory. They do a camp there. So again, I don't want to go and say anything publicly, but they're ready to come out and they reached out to me after my podcast. Hey man, I'm no longer wrestling anymore. I've spent so and so and so. I want to tell my fucking story. Can I come and say my story to your podcast? I was like, hey, absolutely. This is the platform.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm not attacking anybody personally. I'm just sharing my experience.
exactly.
My social media is Tamilian Vineeshhh, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. That's pretty much it.
Perfect. I'll make sure to put in the description box all the links so our viewers can go directly to those sites and support you. If you do, let Vineesh know that Turnbuckle Times sent you. But Vineesh, I really appreciate your time once again. Taking the time out of your busy schedule, and all the best with all of your endeavors going forward. As you said, you've got an event this weekend as well. So I will certainly be following you, continuing to see your career progress, and I think your mindset.
If there's anything left.
Oh no, you know what? I think there's always a place for that.
Just like Renee said, if anybody want to book him, I was like, no, if there's anything left, yeah.
Well, Renee can always hook you up in Canada and Japan.
Yeah.
So you've got those two markets covered. And like you said, you're well traveled man anyway. And I think to be fair, you have the right mindset for professional wrestling in terms of always wanting to grow and improve. I think that takes you further than just thinking, or what they might say, being a mark for yourself, or just thinking you're the bee's knees and no one can compare. So no, credit to you, man. Really do wish you the best as a fellow South Asian myself. It's always nice to see. To be fair, I always just like seeing, and I never really bought into the whole race thing. I like seeing people that perform always. I was never one of those people that thought, oh, why isn't no more brown or black faces growing up? And especially as a child, that's the most innocent thing. A child will tell you honestly, you suck or you're good, and that's it. I'm not looking at your skin, your gender, your religion, your job, whatever you did. If you can do it, like you said, you can sell, you can tell a story. That's what we're really interested in. And I think now more than ever, we really want that, because there's so many things that you can put under a microscope and just dissect and think, actually, I don't like him because he has a mustache, or he doesn't have hair, or whatever, or he has tattoos. And you just think, really, just enjoy something for the sake of enjoying it, instead of just always having to be a contrarian, like, not, oh, everyone else likes this, so I'm going to not like it just for the sake of it. So,
yeah, man. Again, people say all kind of things, and again, like people been saying a lot of bad things about WWE, but I know they're still running. Again, when you when you go to WWE, when you watch the show, it's very diverse. You'll see everybody from all over the world. When I went there, I got a chance to meet people from Singapore, for China, and again from India, and guys like Jinder, Shanky, Veer. All those guys are so humble, so humble. Like they're so humble, respectful.
yeah.
And I was like, wow, man, they're not like, oh, I'm a star, man. They don't have that attitude.
Yeah, I think Veer used to be a baseball player, and obviously Jinder's been in this game for years now. And I think I think he trained in Calgary, or he's from Calgary, so he's obviously around wrestling, the environment. So if anyone had the right to be big-headed, or you'd kind of expect it from them. But like you say, it's always telling, isn't it, that these people with the titles, they don't need to kind of
people, and again, people say Cesaro never got that big push. People don't understand it. Sometimes you don't need a title, because I got a chance to meet Scott Hall several times. And he was like, living a couple of miles from my house. And this one time I met him in the Kroger parking lot. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit here and there. And he's pretty much said the same thing, man. I asked him, why WCW never put the title on you, or, the world title on you, why you never became that champion. He was like, title doesn't make the person makes the title. And I didn't need the title. Absolutely. And he gave me a lot of advices, and again, I feel like I'm so blessed to meet him, Kev, and again, big loss to this wrestling world,
that just adds more weight to the thing that you always hear about him having such a mind for the business.
Man, he's Scott Hall is one of the coolest persons I ever met. remember meeting him for the first time. Can I hug you? Absolutely, man. Yeah,
It's so
it's
approachable.
awesome. He's awesome. He was awesome.
It's nice. That's nice to hear. It's a nice way to end
Yeah,
the chat, to know that someone that I grew up watching, Razor Ramon. I mean, the essence
yeah,
of Paul, everything, and everything he would do was effortless, just
yeah,
like Bret Hart. It was, there's no wasted motion. Everything is fluid, and as a person that just appreciates that, it's amazing. It's just great to hear that your experience with him. Basically, you met a hero, and they didn't
yeah.
disappoint in that sense.
Met him twice, and my last conversation was with him. As I told him like I met him in 2016, him and Kevin Nash in a Comic Con, and it was like, and I showed him the picture. Yeah, yeah, I look more old now. Kevin still looks good. He's still big, sexy. And I was like, yeah. And so I told him like say hi to Kev if you see him soon. I was like, yeah, all right. And he gave me that too sweet thing, and
Nice.
that was the last memory of I
30 seconds or 2 minutes out of their day, but they appreciate that for you or for people that are approaching them. That's their
yeah,
day, their month, their year made. It was the best day of my life, or one of the best days of my life. And you don't need to sour it. Just 30 seconds to a minute. No one's asking crazy like, hey, can I hang out with you for 4 hours or whatever? It's just nice interaction on a
yeah.
human level, just as a human being to a human being, But yeah, Vineesh, thanks again so much for your time, my
No
friend.
problem, man.
All the
Thank you
very
so much for
best with
having
everything
me.
you're going for, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you progress over to, mate. I think you've got some good things coming your way, my friend, for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, brother.